Let's say you have zero money left. You've invested all of your cash into other real estate properties, other investments, and yet you're still finding deals. You still want to be in the game. Should you just sit on the sidelines and do nothing? Or should you consider partnerships? Partnerships in one form or the fashion or another are something that have worked very well for me in my real estate investing business. So in today's Ask Coach episode, we're going to talk all about them. And we're starting right now. Hi, I'm Chad Carson. I also go by Coach. And this channel is all about helping you invest in real estate so you can retire early or achieve financial independence. And most importantly, do more of what matters in your life. In just a moment, I'm going to take you to a clip from a recent Ask Coach live stream that I did where someone had the situation where they basically tapped out of all the cash they had to invest in more properties. And so the dilemma was, I don't have any more cash, but I'm also getting some deals coming in and I'm looking at properties. Should I just stop and wait till I have enough cash again? Or should I consider taking on a partner to do deals with them? And luckily, that's something I have some experience with, having worked with a lot of partnerships myself. And so I'm going to tackle that question right now. So from the very beginning of my real estate investing journey, I lacked cash. I started with $1,000, and so I had to get in partnerships like right off the bat. And it was actually a really good exercise for me because I learned how to leverage safely other people's money, either through partnerships or lease options or private, using self-directed IRAs from other people to loan me money. And so I had a lot of different strategies, but I would say right now, so if you have a partner who's willing to do a deal, I would always rather have 50% or some percentage of a pie instead of having 0%. Like if you're done and you're finding deals, if you're a person who can find deals, which it sounds like you are, then I would rather keep on doing deals and make other people money with me. So I don't have a problem with that. I would just say, try to keep it as simple as possible. Like I think partnerships complicate your life, they complicate your business. The bookkeeping is kind of hard. Sometimes they're easier in theory than they are executing them. And it's easier to get, it's kind of, some people compare it to marriage. You get into a partnership, it's like marriage without all the other benefits, and that it's easy to get into, kind of hard to get out. And so like always think about your exit strategy. I think it's better to start with if you're just starting with a partner, like start with one deal and just do a joint venture with them. See how you like each other, see how you work together. If the whole thing falls apart, that's just one deal. Worst case scenario, you sell the property, you get out. Getting into a big partnership, long-term partnership, and then you haven't really thought things through can be a lot more complicated and can kind of throw some hurdles in your life. So I would say, just be cautious on that. And just kind of test the waters a little bit with your partner instead of just jumping all in. But it's definitely a good approach. So you could go just like straight partnership where the two of you buy an LLC, for example, or you put money into an LLC and you partner that way. I had a recent proposed deal with someone where we were going to be the money and he was going to be the entrepreneur finding the deal, fixing it up and selling it. And we were just going to split it 50-50. So you could find people who would do that with you. And our approach, there's probably different ways to do this. Like in our case, we were just going to, the people putting up the money, we're just going to own the property, and we would have a joint venture agreement with that other person. So a separate agreement. And then once we sold the property, we figured out how we would split the profits and everything. And so that works very well in a flip type deal where it's just in and out, 3 to 6 months, you're done. If you're going to do a longer term property, you can get kind of creative with partnerships as well. In the past, I did this where I had sort of a credit partner. So I had a partner who had the down payment money and who could go get a mortgage. And I was kind of tapped out. I didn't have enough. I couldn't get any more. And so I would go find the deal. I would assign that deal to my credit partner, to my partner. That credit partner would own the property. They would put the money down, get the loan. They would basically buy it for just the same price I had it under contract for. So they would just take my place. That's step one. Step two is I would then lease that property back from them with an option to buy it at a higher price. So I'd build in a little profit for my partner and then I would lease it to them. So they got a guaranteed lease from me, somebody they trust. And then I would go sublease it to my tenant. So this is a way, I could control the entire property. My credit partner got a guaranteed, they got a very secure rent from me. They didn't have to deal with the tenants. They didn't have to deal with the headaches. They just got a check from me every month. It was in the lease that I was paying them was enough to cover their mortgage, their taxes, and their insurance. And then I actually handled maintenance in that case. So you kind of build in you can do a small cash flow. Like in that case, they're kind of wholesaling it to me. So they had a positive cash flow every month. They had a small profit markup on the price with the option to buy it that I had. And then they kind of just went from there. They got to keep all the depreciation and the other tax benefits. For me though, so this is your situation. How much did it cost me to get into that lease option deal? I had zero down. I might just nominally put $10. I have $10 to buy my option. And so I was able to control this entire property that I found using somebody else's capital, letting them get the mortgage. And then I was doing that with a very small amount of money. And then I made a spread. So I made sure I ran the numbers, and the difference between what I leased my property for and all my expenses was more than what I was paying to my credit partner. So I was able to make positive cash flow, and I was also had a gap in the price as well. So one of these days, my strategy was either to buy that property, so execute my option and buy it from them once I could get a mortgage, and I could keep it long run at that point, or I might decide to sell the property, which we actually did in some cases. And so we sold it, and then I would go back to my credit partner, and we would figure out a way to split the profits. I had an option price with them, so they would get that price, and then I would get the difference on what I sold it to my buyer for. So those are examples of kind of keeping it. I like those a little bit better on a 1-2 deal basis instead of having to go get the LLC and the partnership and all that. I think you can control a partnership with documents like a lease and an option or a joint venture agreement to start, instead of getting into the big complicated partnerships. Thanks for joining me for this episode. I hope it's been helpful. I'd love to hear from you and find out if you've ever used partnerships. Have you ever done a flip deal or a rental deal or any other kind of business deal with a partner? And how has it gone? I know there's both sides of that story. There's good and bad. So I'd love to hear from you and find out what your experiences have been like. And if you're new to this channel, I hope you'll stick around and find out more of what's going on. Just click that subscribe button or click like below, and that'll let you know when I come out with new videos. I've got a lot of fun, interesting other questions to answer and other episodes related to real estate investing and other topics. So again, this channel is all about helping you invest in real estate specifically, but so that you can achieve financial independence and do more of what matters. Spend your time doing the things that are most important to you. That might be working a job still. That might be going on vacations endlessly. That might be spending time with your kids. There's all sorts of activities I know that are important to you, and I want to help you do more of those. So until next time, I'm Chad Carson, also known as Coach. Look forward to seeing you next time.